Hello. All right. It's a gorgeous day today. Unbelievably nice. It's 42. Windy as just really windy. So if you hear wind noise, and the forest is just making all kinds of musical notes. It's really it loves the wind also. So today I'm just going to talk about what is happening on the planet as a whole. And my take on it, like so many others, is that we're on a decline. A serious decline. Just the latest to talk about this. This is starting to act more and more like 1960s because of the way people are starting to notice things that aren't stuck on their phone all day playing Pokemon. But Prince Charles is now talking about the dangers of Trump and other right-wing leaders, both here in the U.S. and abroad, or as they say over in the U.K. and other parts of the world, abroad. Couldn't stand that word anyway. And then you have C.J. Polychronian. I don't know if that's the correct naming. I'll put the name right here. Right here. And he is talking about how the world is going into rapid destruction, and it is really noticeable, as I'm sure so many of you agree. The problem here is going to be what to do next, But there's one thing I see happening the most, is that we're falling into this fighting with each other. Left versus right. Left versus right.
Hola a todos. I had not paid much attention to the divide and conquer, the far right during the dismal U.S. presidential campaign 2016, but now that their Trump got elected by receiving, as of this time, 3 million fewer votes that we know of, I've noticed them on comment sections, and they are rabid. They are the backbone of the divide and conquer, fake left, right, routine, cult. They are very low information voters. They operate off of disinformation, willful ignorance, and hate. They live in a very different era. The 1930s comes to mind. They don't realize that political terms have changed, such as there is no genuine left today. They think that the corrupt, pro-capitalist, imperialistic Democratic Party is left. Excuse me while I compose myself. They think that Obama is a communist. Apparently they don't know the definition of the word communist. In reality, he's a supporter of corporate fascism, where the corporations run the oligarchy, the government. The Democratic Party helped illegitimate George W. Bush accomplish most of his neocon agenda, and Nancy Pelosi took impeachment of Bush off the table. Well, there's absolutely nothing left about that. Obama expanded most of Bush's neocon agenda. That's not left. And Obama's so-called progressive, his fake progressive supporters, flip-flopped all over the place for the last 8 years and supported him no matter what he's done. They have supported a right-wing neocon in reality. That's not left. That's why I refer to them as the fake left, fake progressives. The far-right script, the words that they mostly use to put down the fake left and fake progressives, is libtards, libturds, liberals, spelled L-I-B-R-A-L-S. Now, either they don't know the correct spelling of the word liberal, or they're just, I don't know what they're doing, but it's not correct. They've used libtards, libturds, especially those two, for decades. They seem unable to update their rhetoric. They are obsessed with liberals, even though what used to be liberals are now on the right today, cheerleading Obama's neocon Bush-like policies. But the far right, they are unable to grasp that. They're so stuck in their libturd and libtard rhetoric and their hate for so-called liberals. The far right don't write about politics when they comment, and I sense they don't know anything about politics, to tell you the truth, or specific issues. Their script is mainly about hating on anyone who is not exactly like them, white and blue-eyed. When a person of no political affiliation comments, such as a nonpartisan, they shut up or write silly one-liners such as the outdated, "You're a riot," which I haven't heard in years. They only know how to respond to partisan, the DNR nonsense, and that's by writing their usual, as I said, libtard and libturd scripts. Facts don't mean anything to these people. They operate solely on emotion, and they are extremely rabid. Now, this divisional rhetoric of libtard and libturd is part of the divide and conquer cult. The fake liberals and fake progressives have their own language that they use to some degree, but not nearly as much as the far right. The far right own the divide and conquer routine, and they are just obsessed with it. And if you look at comment sections, at least where I've been recently, that's where I see it. And that's about it, as I think. Yes, I've covered it all. Muchísimas gracias. Ciao.
You know, he just said was so true. That nails it. That we need to start thinking about Earth as a whole, as one. And even if we have to, let's say, get rid of borders altogether to do that. And you know, there'd have to be some serious thinking on how to do such a thing, to get rid of an imaginary line on a map. That's all it is an imaginary line on the map. Most of borders are you can cross them and not even know that they're there. They're just a thing on the map that we're willing to die for. And if there wasn't those borders, it'd be harder to die for such a thing that doesn't exist anymore. So I think if you want to get rid of the problems of the world, the first thing you got to do is unite with each other. And there's no way out of that. You're going to have to do it somehow. Is stop as he said, you know, stop the name calling first. It's I know it's kind of childish, but you know, humans are kind of childish anyway, I guess. And one more note I wanted to talk about was I have a link of a video down in the description area of my latest methane video. There was quite a discussion on there, and I wanted to what's been talked about. And a lot of people are asking for credentials and that kind of thing. And I do not have any credentials whatsoever. I'm just a concerned citizen of the planet who sees the world going into a tailspin, really. And I'm trying to do my part by putting it on, you know, putting my opinion, and that's all it is my opinion, on the internet. The science stuff that I put up there is heavily researched, and it is just, again, it's what I've learned from my research, both on and off the internet, through many years of knowing scientists of various types, of engineers and architects, and talking with them, and you know, it's a lifetime of education, a lot of it, and a lot of it is so obvious what's happening, you know, but we want to have denial. Humans love denial, if you know what I mean. But I really do appreciate all the comments on methane and on the last videos and on this video. It is about the discussion. Boy, that drummer up there is really going at it, isn't he? I guess there's two of them going. But again, let's get together on things, you know. Let's put all this left and right and partisanship aside and get rid of the corporates, man. That's the people that's causing the problem, are the corporations. They want humans dumb, stupid, low paid, and that way they can just buy tons of garbage from China, ship it over to large factories in the U.S. and other countries and just distribute it, and it basically goes into a consumer's hand. It gets used 3 or 4 times, breaks, goes into the dump. Humans are really on a bad path. Your comments are welcome and appreciated, and of course, as always, add what you think.